Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. You won't believe what day it is today. It's Thursday, but it is also the day after McDonald's released the Cardi B and Offset Meal. So this is a huge occasion, and this is, number one, signaling the resumption of celebrity meals from McDonald's. But number two, this is the first celebrity duo meal ever released. And I may add, this is my personal interjection, this may very well be the most incredible meal, not just celebrity meal, but meal in general, I have ever bore witness to. It's available for the price of $18. I know I sit up all night, every night, and I think to myself, what does Cardi B eat? You know, I listen to her music all the time, but I just can't. What does she eat when she goes to McDonald's? Now we know. Alright, so this is supposed to be like if Cardi B and Offset went over to McDonald's, this is what they would feast upon. So, Cardi B, she goes with the cheeseburger, with some tangy barbecue sauce on the side, and a large Coke. Offset, I guess the appetite is a little bit more ravenous there. Quarter pounder with cheese, and a large Hi-C Orange. And then they both split a large fries and, of course, an apple pie. You can't go wrong with that. So it's available at the price of $18, and now you could sit there and you could pretend that maybe you're either Cardi B, or you could pretend you're Offset, or I guess you could pretend you're both, and now you could pretend that you're actually there, in their shoes, at McDonald's, eating the meal that they would eat. So that's what it is. It's like two meals in one. Again, $18 in price. Now, what I want to do in this review, because I've already reviewed every single thing here, so this might seem a little bit rushed for some if you're a regular viewer, but really I just want to see if the quality is just absolute, basic, meeting the standards. And if you want a more detailed analysis, I implore you to check out some of my other McDonald's reviews. So it might seem a little rushed, but I just want to real quick just run through each item and then just give some thoughts on the meal itself. But as you could see, they said it's supposed to come in special branding. You could obviously see how Cardi B themed this is. And if you were wondering, let me get it right here. This is the bag it came in. No special branding whatsoever on my end. But as you can see, there's the large fries. That screams Cardi B to me. Barbecue sauce. The apple pie. Quarter pounder with cheese. Drink one. And drink two. So, I'm just going to start. I'll start off with the cheeseburger. Just take pretty much like one or two bites of each thing. Give a real quick assessment. Again, $18. All right, let's go. Let's see this cheeseburger. Some people say they call this cheeseburgers. There we go. Looks like your typical McDonald's cheeseburger right there. Take a bite of it first without the sauce. Refocus the camera. Here we go. Totally standard. You can really taste that slice of the American cheese there. On the saltier side, of course, you also have the pickle that adds a little bit of tanginess. You have the onions there as well, that little bit of a sharpness as well that they contribute. Now let's try out the tangy barbecue sauce. All in all, cheeseburger, standard McDonald's. quality. I guess we just dip it in the sauce like that. It said she eats it with that barbecue sauce. The tangy barbecue sauce actually isn't a bad choice. It takes a little bit away from that saltiness that some people might otherwise consider overwhelming, so tangy barbecue sauce is actually a pretty solid choice for that cheeseburger. Not bad, not bad. Large Coke. Yeah, standard. Standard. Sweet, highly carbonated, refreshing. Not bad either. Now let's try out Offset's meal. Going with the 1/4 pounder with cheese, so a slightly bigger burger. And you can see it comes with the cheese slices, a 1/4 pound of beef, the onions, cheese, ketchup. No sauce aside from the ketchup that's already on the 1/4 pounder with cheese in this instance. So now, let's try that out. 1/4 pounder with cheese going in. I like their 1/4 pounder with cheese. It's I always have to have the appetite for it, but again, if I am feeling a little bit more on the ravenous side and I'm a bit hungry, I do enjoy the 1/4 pounder with cheese. It's a complete sandwich, I would say. Juicy, flavorful, definitely able to taste a lot more of that meaty flavor with this, and definitely a larger patty, of course. Still salty, but you have that nice little bit of a tanginess with those pickles that are added. Good sharpness with the onion as well. Cheese certainly has a prominent role to play, but overall, I've always been a fan of their 1/4 pounder with cheese. I'd say meeting and maintaining the standards in that regard. So far, so good there. Let's wash it down now with the Hi-C Orange. No real carbonation here, but I would say it's actually more refreshing than the Coca-Cola, I would say. Not as sweet, but it's just very refreshing and it's pleasant. Of course, very citrusy, has that little bit of acidity to it. But as I said, it's just nice and cool, refreshing. As you're eating this, you might have a lot of saltiness that you're noticing from the burgers and all of that. So it definitely adds to it. It helps cancel everything out. It's a nice little palate cleanser as well. Very pleasant refreshment in that regard. All right. So far, McDonald's is maintaining the standards. Now, real quick, try out some of these fries. Crispy and salty. Though I will say that the fries are a little bit on the dry side this time around, which is what it is. McDonald's, the quality is kind of hit or miss when it comes down to the fries. So that is the only thing that I noticed there. That could be a little bit iffy. The quality of the fries, again, not totally up to par with how McDonald's used to be regarded for their fries. Still good enough for all things considered, but definitely of everything that I've had here so far, the lowest quality, I would say. Finally, let's go on to dessert. The McCafe Baked Apple Pie. You can see what it looks like right there if we focus in on it. Now let's try it out. Pretty good. Pretty good, all things considered. Flaky, a very light, very flaky crust on the outside of the little apple pie there. But then, of course, you have the apple interior. Just very flavorful, has a nice little bit of a cinnamon note to it as well. Very rich in flavor, and I would say overall a good combination. Generally speaking, I like all things apple, and I think that definitely hits all the right notes in that regard. So, in terms of the quality of everything that was received here, I would say it meets expectations. It's a typical McDonald's meal. It's exactly what you would probably expect if you got a large meal from McDonald's. So think of it as a standard fast food quality, not necessarily anything gourmet, but in the end, it meets expectations. Now, on one final note, it's $18 in terms of price. Quality is exactly what you would expect. Nothing that blows me away, nothing that leaves me extremely disappointed, so everything is standard in that regard. When I compared the price, it comes out about exactly the same if I ordered everything separately, so it just doesn't really matter in that regard. However, here's my one complaint. When you look at this, does anything about this seem like Cardi B or Offset to you in the slightest? Even if the branding were there, which it obviously isn't in this instance, I threw in some balloons to try to make the scene a little more festive and interesting, because otherwise, this is just unidentifiable. It's just a McDonald's meal. This is something I could have gotten last week, or last month, or last year, or 2 years ago, or 5 years ago. There's nothing new about this. There's nothing original about this whatsoever. When I look at this, whether this came in certain branding or not, I don't see Cardi B in this, nor do I see Offset. I see dollar signs. I see nothing whatsoever celebrity related. When this stuff usually happens, the way it seems to me anyway these days, which is just disappointing, this is what they all do. They say, all right, we need to sell more quarter pounders and we need to sell some more apple pies. Maybe the cheeseburger sales are a little light at this point. So get some celebrity, preferably some A-list musician, slap their name on it, and tell everyone to go rush out and buy it. And that's exactly what they did here. I hate it when you have these themed meals that there is nothing original contributed to this. There's absolutely nothing original here. You get the same items that have been here for decades. They just repackage them, put it in a little box with Cardi B's name stamped on it, and say, oh, go out and get this now because Cardi B. And I just wish, and this isn't just an attack on McDonald's, this is all these places that do this, had something that's actually original to contribute here, and maybe had an original sandwich, or an original sauce, or an original something. But instead, we just get the same stuff that's in this case, it's not even repackaged. I could have got this exact meal a month ago, and it would be no different than what I got today. But they put a celebrity's name on it, and now you're supposed to rush out and buy it as if it's something brand new. And that disappoints me the most. Quality-wise, it's fine. It's totally average. Price-wise, totally fine, totally average. But conceptually, to me, personally, extremely disappointing, because I know McDonald's is a huge corporation with a huge amount of resources, huge amount of backing. If they could get Cardi B and all these folks on this deal here, then clearly they have the capability to make an original item as well, rather than repackaging the same stuff as always. And that's disappointing. And that's just how it is, though. So therefore, out of 10, like I said, if you want to get it, but just don't expect anything that's going to blow you away here. Therefore, out of 10, I'm going to be giving the Cardi B and Offset meal from McDonald's, I'm going to be giving it a 6.5 out of 10, standard quality. I just wish it had more originality to it. But if you just want a fast food meal at about the same price it would usually be these days, then it's all there for you, and don't hesitate. It'll probably taste fine for what it is. Thank you for watching, and that's all that I have. I'm your host, The Report of the Week.